Describe a time when you really disappointed someone.
I did law. Lawyers have traditionally been painted as evil, manipulative. Truth or drink? Today I have with me ex-Harvard Business School, ex-VC, ex-founder, and now COO of a very fast and upcoming startup, Jeremy Au, with me today. And we're playing a game called Truth or Drink. With us, I have the real alcoholic whiskey, waiting for sponsors drink, where if I don't answer a question, I got a drink. And Jeremy has brought his non-alcoholic drink. So Jeremy, since we last caught up, how have you been?
I work at a cancer diagnostic startup called Lucence.
Nice.
Alcohol is a class 1 carcinogen. So, being healthy has its sacrifices for sure.
I hear you. But some of us like to live fast, die young.
I think it's just been great to just really work with so many great scientists and R&D folks to make life better for so many cancer patients across the world. So yeah.
Very nice. I think like having had an aunt that just passed away from cancer, I think what you guys are doing is great. So now let's get cracking on the cards. Question is, how would childhood you describe you now? Would that kid like you?
Well, what an old dude. I would also think like, hey, I think you're pretty cool, actually. Because, I think that I definitely did the things that were some of my childhood dreams, right? I went to Harvard with an MBA.
Yeah. Soft flex.
I'm working in tech, right? In a startup, I have a podcast as well, right?
And then what's the name of your podcast?
The Brave Southeast Asia Tech Podcast. I think all these things were just things that I don't think I've necessarily been like, I want to do those things, but I hear those things, I'd be like, wow, that's cool. Maybe I can give you both questions and then you get to choose. Is that fair or you prefer? Okay, I'll let you choose. The first one is, describe a time when you really disappointed someone. Wow. Did you ever earn back their trust? That's number one. Or number two is, who's the smartest person here? Give us examples.
I'll choose, I think, first question. So, I come from a family of three other sisters who are all doctors. Wait, come on, I told you so many times.
Well, I actually want to hear it.
But I think like traditional Chinese cultures view doctors as like, or even what you're doing with cancer treatments or tests as something that is, socially good, right? You're helping people. Versus lawyers have traditionally been painted as evil, manipulative. They're always expensive, right? They're out to get your money. So, we're always painted as the sharks, which is not exactly not true. But at the same time, I just felt like I really wanted to do law.
Yeah.
The second part of the question is, do I think I've made up?
Did you ever earn back their trust?
Earn back that trust. I don't know. I think like because I'm the only daughter that actually works in Raffles Place, I then started at some point when I was younger going to work with my mom. And that was like bonding time, right? Because you're in the car, you guys talk, blah, 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 blah. I hope over time and slowly it becomes less disappointing. But what are you anxious about? Can we reassure you?
Ooh. What am I anxious about?
Yeah.
I'm anxious about the world.
Really?
Current affairs.
With Donald Trump, right?
I just think that, the world is just kind of like a different place. I think that growing up between the 1980s to, I'll say, 2010s, it felt like, I would watch these Hollywood movies. Yes. And it was always very optimistic about, the world will always get better. Because it was the end of the Cold War, at that time. Yes. And so there was this time where everybody was like, rules-based order, global peace, the world is flat, it's like globalization is good. Well. Yeah, and there's just so much optimism about, it's just inevitable that, everybody would work towards, more cooperation, more trade, more peace. And, and
I'm sure you've heard of Ray Dalio's book on like the world orders and the new world order. So I just see it as just like part of civilizations progressing. Yeah, and whether or not it's going to happen in the next like 20 years or 50 years. Because I mean, with Trump having all the tariffs, it's really about like slowing down the shift in economic power, right? But I just think it's a natural process. Yeah. So I do hear you about being anxious, but if I could be honest, there's not a better time to be in Asia. Southeast Asia, startups.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of worse periods. Like World War II was a bad time. World War I was a bad time. Yeah, so I think, I would say that this is, I mean, today, so many people have, safety, security, TVs, homes. And I think obviously people are focused on, how do I improve my own family's livelihood, how to deal with like growing economic inequality. But yeah, I mean, everybody has access to some basic healthcare as well today. I mean, life is a lot better compared to our grandparents or great-grandparents' time, for sure.
Yeah.
What's something you think people should appreciate more about you? This is a log list. It sounds like nothing. Now this is a log list. So what's something you think people should appreciate more about you?
I think that innovating in law is tough. Yeah, I love skiing, so I went skiing recently, and to get to the peak, right, everyone has to climb up, and everybody was following in the same footsteps. And we've heard the phrase before growing up, like following in someone's footsteps, and it really dawned on me at that point in time, like, hey, in this instance, because we are actually following someone's footsteps who climbed to the peak to ski down, our lives are much easier, right?
Right.
But the person who created those footsteps would have had a terrible or like a very difficult and uphill job, because A, you got to figure out like which path to take. B, you got to figure out which snow is the right snow. C, you could be sliding down in that process, right? So it's the toughest job. And I feel like trying to do what we are trying to do for law is like creating those initial footsteps. And it's a lot of trial and error. It's a lot of there's a lot of factors influencing it, ranging from regulation all the way down to market demand and executing it right. So it's definitely difficult. Yeah. I think sometimes it's difficult to appreciate that. Yeah.
Okay, well, your turn.
My turn.
Yeah.
Have you ever done something you're not proud of for money outside of an official job?
Have I ever done something that I'm not proud of
for money? Like maybe someone said like, oh, I'll go like slam a birthday cake on someone for $20.
I can't think of anything for money.
I guess you got a drink then.
Yeah, I guess I got a drink. That's not, I mean, the poop.
No answer.
I don't answer. I mean, I can't think of.
Okay,
if you say like boyish pranks that I've done. Then I can imagine there's some stuff you're like.
If our bottles were friends, your friend would feel very like neglected because you just didn't wanna.
Just drink some.
Like, hey, buddy.
What are your insecurities?
Oh,
how do they manifest in your day-to-day life?
Oh, I have so many insecurities that I wear as like a badge of honor.
Yeah.
Insecurities. Okay, like sometimes when I go for some events and then there's all these models, I feel insecure. Right? They're like tall, long legs, With my sisters, they're all doctors, so sometimes I feel insecure. Yeah. Right? Growing up, they were the cool ones, so I feel insecure. Lots of insecurities, but I've learned to embrace them and channel them in the right way. Yeah. Means extra hard work. Yeah, extra insecurities, but that means extra excellence. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know, right? With this bombshell, right? We got to do a final shot.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, final shot for the.
Whoop.
Yeah. Cheers.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Cheers.
To what?
To being the sore tummy as innovators.
For me, I'm going to cheers for you to have good health. Good health and good fitness.
Yes. Continue to work on that VO2 max. All right. The cardio fitness. All right. Cheers. With this bombshell, we're done with the podcast. And we may or may not see you next time because that's my insecurity speaking. Bye.